The air itself caught fire. Ramuell didn't know how long he'd been lying on the cave floor. He felt hollow. His chest ached, and he was unable or unwilling to move. Slowly, he became aware of quiet rustling in other parts of the cave. He was not the only survivor. He lapsed into fitful sleep, haunted by the horrors the people of Doman Seol had visited upon the planet Garang 3. A blinding flash and deafening roar had shattered the early dawn. Everything lying loose on the canyon floor was sucked violently into the air. Choking clouds of dirt, stones, and ash boiled skyward. The portal canopies in front of each inhabited cave were ripped from their anchors. Instantly, the pilings were shattered as they swirled upward toward the canyon rim. The flying debris spontaneously combusted as it crested the ridges. People and animals outside the caves were likewise drawn into the maelstrom. Every crow roosting on the nearby trees simply disappeared. Small children were vacuumed out of caves as if by tornadic wind. People with enough strength anchored themselves inside by clinging to rocks, roots, or log structures wedged into wall cracks. After those first few seconds, Ramuell's gasps couldn't fill his lungs. He realized that oxygen was being burned so rapidly, several hundred meters overhead, that he was suffocating. This understanding intensified his terror, and that fear turned to dread, as the last image he saw before losing consciousness was Dahal, staggering about the cave, blood oozing from his ears. He pried his eyelids open with his fingers and became aware of a yellowish light filtering in from the cave's mouth. He crawled to the entrance and saw the thousands of trees on the canyon floor were naught but smoldering stumps. Falling ash shrouded everything with several centimeters of gray death. He dropped his head and retched. He could hear moans and voices from nearby caves. When a woman called out, Ramuell heard people scrambling to the front of their dwellings. He hollered, "Stay in your caves until the sky stops falling!" He knew breathing much of the ash would almost certainly cause illness, or worse, it could be radioactive. Standing just inside the cave's mouth, Shaya began a roll call of the Crow clan's people. Who was hurt, how severe were the injuries, and who was unhurt. Through the process of elimination, she reckoned who among the clan were missing, dead, or perhaps still unconscious. She also asked about food and water stores. By the time she completed the inventory, Ramuell had managed to prop himself into a sitting position with his back against a boulder. The toddler, Busasta, startled Ramuell by climbing into his lap. He grabbed the little boy into his arms and began to weep. Busasta wasn't Ramuell's son or grandson, but he loved this child beyond all reason. Domanian travelers had long since realized that their feelings for the planet's indigents were, in fact, a phenomenon outside of reason. That those feelings were the product of a mysterious kind of extrasensory experience.